Hey, welcome to the Crazy J Podcast Show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to talk about the NBA playoffs. Detroit Pistons, Orlando Magic. Game two is over. Detroit comes out big. Game two, that looks really soft and crazy. Not normal when they lost in the game one to Orlando. Orlando played a very good game in the first game. I think what I'm going to say is this, folks. I think that Detroit was a little bit surprised about how well Orlando came out, even though they played the first game against Charlotte. It's just one of those things that happen. I mean, you're sitting around, you're waiting around a little bit, and then the team that comes in and plays an extra game or two of the series or whatever, the series before, they're going to be warmed up, ready to go. And this is something that's great for Detroit. The fact that they actually came out in the second game more, I wouldn't say more aggressive. There's a lot of misperception perspective that I think that this game, even though Detroit won by 15 points, this game could have been flop-sided by the stats, as I'm going to talk about the stats of the game. Uh, as you guys know, that the game was the field goals was 33 to Orlando, 46% to Detroit. Uh, this is a key factor I like to think about. The 25% three-pointers and then 23% for Detroit. Orlando 25, 8 for 32. Detroit 6 for 26. I think Detroit got very lucky there. Orlando Magic did not get all hot. I think they got lucky that John Suggs Jalen Suggs did not get hot. I think that they have to be concerned about the fact that Bachero didn't even get that hot. I think France Wagner, he actually was taken out of the game based on the fact that Detroit was more physical on him. So I think that it clearly made a point into that in a sense. But I think that Detroit should be really considered lucky that Orlando did not get hot in the 3-point line. There was in the game in the third and the fourth quarter where Orlando could have made shots and could have changed the outcome of the game to make it closer, or they would have won. I really think that if you look at another stat here, the free throws, Detroit shot 58% for 14 for 24, where Orlando went 23 to for 30, 23 out of 32 for 72%. Detroit needs to get better at the free throws and make those shots. The free points. Don't let those shots get you by. Keep it up. Go as much work as much as possible in itself. I'm not going to go through every stat. I really do. The points in the paint was 54 for Detroit, 34 for Orlando. This is something that was a flip flop moment for Detroit. But I think that in the first game, it was not a great thing for Detroit. Detroit, in some ways, needs to focus on the center part of the game where Jalen Duran and Isaiah Stewart and other guys can get points in the paint. I will go a little bit through that in itself. Fast break points, Detroit lost that from 19 from Orlando to 14 for Detroit. That is something that is not a good thing for Detroit. If you're going to do fast breaks, you got to get the ball moving. You can't wait around for Cade Cunningham to do everything for you. That's not how basketball should be. It's becoming one and two punches, a one-dimensional thing for Detroit to watch Cade Cunningham do everything. I do think Detroit conceded 19 points, where Orlando did their 18. So both teams about the same. Even steals for Orlando is 16-9 for Detroit. I'm gonna say this: Detroit's got to take care of the ball a lot better. Detroit needs to take care of the ball a lot better. Focus on what you need to do. Take care of the ball. Uh, I will go through a couple of the guys. I think I'm going to start with uh, Jalen Duran. Only had 11 points for 4 for 10, 9 rebounds, and 3 for 5 for free throws. Um, I think that the best way to get Jalen Durant involved in the game is mismatches. So if you got to switch, you got to make moves so that he'll get the smaller player or he'll get a player that it'd be a guard or a point guard or a shooting guard where the ball will go down low to him. I know this is talking about old basketball, but one thing about Jalen Duran that does really well is that he moves within the hemisphere of the of the paint really well. So even if he's going through a pick off another forward like Isaiah Stewart or like Holland the third, he'll at least get the ball while he's moving. And when he gets the ball while he's moving, he'll then either pass the ball to Duncan Robinson or Kate Cunningham or Dennis Jenkins or whoever is on the court. I think if he's just trying to be a post player, Orlando, especially Franz Wagner and Wendell Carter Jr., can match up to his body strength. I could tell that Wendell Carter Jr. could maintain his presence on the same spot where Jalen Duran was trying to move him. So in order to make things better for Jalen Duran, you got to get him moving towards the basket, almost like a fast break, what they do. But if you're in a half court setting, you're going to have to get a mismatch on them so that the ball can be uh, flowing around the court evenly. That's something I think that's going to be really important. I think Isaiah, when we talk about Isaiah Stewart, I think that his mindset, because of his technical fouls and he's really emotional, it's almost taking him away from the game in itself. He may be a little bit too concerned about not, I wouldn't say act up or defend himself or be more aggressive on the rebounding or be more aggressive on just being Isaiah Stewart. He did have two major blocks in the game. So that in itself, I'm not concerned about. But it'd be helpful if he's a little bit more aggressive. I know this is bipolar thing I'm saying because I thought in the beginning of the year he was way too emotional. But at this point of the season, you kind of need that emotion to get things moving and things going. And I think with his minutes going up, I think it'd be better than just having Jalen Duran on the court. At at the same time, that could work too, but that'd be more towards the fourth quarter. Um, the one player that I did not have a photograph towards is Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris, 16 points, 7 for 17, 0 for 3 for 3-point shots, 11 rebounds. The veteran is doing his job. Uncle Tobias is doing his thing. Concern about that is that he's older. He might lose a lot of energy in the third and fourth quarter, and you just can't wait for him to do your thing. What I'm saying by that leads me to this guy, Duncan Robinson. Here, let me show you. Duncan Robinson. This is the guy that we traded. No, that I didn't say they traded. Free agency. This is the guy for free agency, and he was supposed to be on spot 3-point shooter. Everyone says he's 40%. He's doing his thing. He's above average, but you know what? This is one thing that's a kicker. If you watch enough Detroit Piston games, when he's open and Kay Cunningham or Dennis Jenkins throw him the ball after they make a fast break shot or break to the basket and throw it back out, even with Jalen Duran throwing the ball back out to him, he doesn't make them. And when he does make them, the score Detroit's up by 15 or down by 12. It's got to be where Detroit is up by 5, up by 7, down by 3, that those 3-pointers need to go in. And I know that everyone's giving me crap about it. Yes, he did pretty well, but he only got 10 points, 3 for 9 on the field goals. 3 of those were obviously the 3 points for 3 for 8 for 3-point shots. That's just not enough. I think what I would tell him more is take a couple steps in and make 2-point shots and make that a very reliable source of points. I'm serious. It is better for him to take a 17-footer that he can make than a 27-footer that he's not going to make. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's a waste of a possession. I know I'm giving him a lot of crap, but when you don't have Malik Beasley coming off the bench because he's not on the team, you're going to need. That's why we signed him. This is why we got him for, right? I think another guy that we got to talk about is a Sir Thompson. Sir Thompson, 11 points, 5 for 9, 8 rebounds, 2 for 5 for I think for free throws. But I think what we need to consider this: Sir Thompson isn't going to be your shooting guard. He's just not going to be that guy. And I think you're taking him away from what he does really good, is being a defensive player, grabbing loose balls and starting fast breaks. That's something that's been very obvious about him going to the shooting guard position with side by side with Kate Cunningham. Um, I'm not going to expect much out of. I'm just not. I know this is kind of contradicting, but I'm not going to expect much out of Dennis Jenkins, especially that even though he got a couple of 30-point games and 22, 24-point games, he's just not going to be that guy for you that's going to give you 25 points. If he can give you at least 15 points, that'd be good. 8 assists, I would take that. 5 rebounds, yes. I think with Dennis Jenkins, he just has to be more patient, I guess, but he needs to go towards the basket. What I mean by that is make the referees call fouls for you so that you can get to the free throw line. That plain and simple. It's simple, but it's not simple. It's difficult as a guy watching the game. It's easy to say, "Oh, I know what I'm talking about." I may not even know what I'm talking about. JB Bickerstaff, you know, he seemed to be all right doing his thing. I just think that Detroit, uh, another guy I would even think about having Detroit play is probably Paul Reed. If Paul Reed can get better rebounding and more fast break points, or loosen the team up a little bit more, that might be the key point right there, folks. Uh, Relying on those type of guys. Ronald Holland Jr., again, he's a defensive mindset type of guy. He's not going to give you your points unless he's on fast break. And that's the way it is. Do I think Detroit may wear themselves out if Duncan Robinson doesn't make his shots and Dennis Jenkins doesn't make their shots when Kate Cunningham is on the bench? Yes. I think it'll make it easier for Jalen Duran if Dennis Jenkins and Duncan Robinson made their shots. If you can get 2-pointers and you're not hitting 3-pointers, I'd rather take a 2-pointer every time until Duncan Robinson gets hot. That's my peep of this game. I think what else I'm going to say is this, folks. Going into game 3, Detroit's going to have to have a good start. They're not, I don't see them making a huge comebacks against Orlando. I know Orlando hypothetically is a weaker team, but in reality, I'm not playing stupid on a team that has potential talent. The first game of the series, they had all 5 starters were in double digits. The second game of the Pistons game, Detroit had all 5 starters on their double digits. So I think the third game is going to be influential for the series to be won. Obviously, Detroit's going to have to come out strong right away, play into their game, get Jalen Duran involved, and go from there. I think that's what it would really be helpful. I will also talk about a little bit about the Detroit Tigers. Let's congratulate um, Torkelson for the Milwaukee Brewer game at home, walk-off home run for Torque. Uh, it's only his second home run of the year, but it looks like he's turning things around. He's heating up. So Detroit Tigers looking pretty good. I think their bullpen is somewhat sometimes questionable. Uh, what can I say? Uh, when you don't have five potential starters, you're going to get yourself in a hot seat. Um, Tarek School isn't going to be the same pitcher every year, so you got to at least protect the guy by having good games when Casey Mize or even Jack Flaherty is out there. That's another concern for Detroit Tigers is that Jack Flaherty, again, what I'm going to say about Jack is that he's way too emotional when things don't go his way. When he starts to walk guys, he gets all verbal and very negative, and he gives that vibe to the rest of the team that's not great. Uh, let's put it this way: Kai Magago, I think he's he's the man. He is very playing very well. Cole Keith hitting the ball. Riley Green making connections. That's a great thing for Detroit having Riley Green and Torque back-to-back hitters doing their thing. So that's something to consider. I'm going to try to talk about that game. About the Cincinnati Reds series. I don't know if I can do it with the Detroit Pistons in the playoffs. Um, I'm also am going to try to do something about the NFL draft, special Detroit Lions draft picks. I'm going to keep it real, keep it honest with you guys and gals. Peace, love, and if you like the show, give me a thumbs up. Give me a following on YouTube. Give me a following on Patreon. Anyway, you can download the podcast. It's going to be on on Apple and Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. So cheers, love for you kiddos. Play safe. Let's go Detroit.